I think the first mistake was we let a hard cap get in. And believe it or not, it's hurt everyone. It's hurt players. It's hurt agents. It's hurt coaches. It's hurt development. It's hurt so many different things.
Right.
And the only players that really benefit is the very top of the line guys. SGA, Luka, LeBron. You have to be on that level to just get your max deal with no questions asked. If you fall anywhere from the top 7 to 15 guys in the NBA, you got to fight for your money. We seen Jimmy Butler almost hold out in Miami. Same thing for Brandon Ingram going all the way to Toronto. Shit, even the Pelicans GM had admitted that Ingram basically had no market because teams were not willing to just pay around $40 million for a player that's pretty much a top 30 guy, top 25 to, you could say anywhere 15 on. There's a lot of hesitation with owners when it comes to that tier level of players. I'll throw a link in the description below. Mark Cuban also spoke about this, where in his words, owners were going to start paying guys not necessarily off their talent, but off the tier level that their talent actually falls in. And all this is really happening because teams do not want to hit that second apron in the luxury tax. The penalties are just way too severe for improving teams year in, year out.
Because you can't make decisions based on winning. You can't make decisions based on development. You make decisions based on money. And that affects everything.
Hey, that sounds perfect for all that private equity money that's trickling in the league, but shitty for everyone else, NBA fans, players, etc.
You make decisions based on money. And that affects everything. And so, yeah.
I'm with you. I think that everyone can agree that the hard cap, the second apron, has not been good for anybody. I also think that came from the owners, by the way. That was their idea. The players didn't come up with that shit. Now, we agreed to it. That's on us.
So they knocked out 2 birds with 1 stone. You made sure that players are participating in all these games, especially when it comes to their new television deal with streaming. And also, you got the top line guys possibly not being eligible for the Supermax contracts in which they already qualify for by not making these all-NBA teams. Jokic this season is fighting to get above that 65 games so he can sign his Supermax deal. If it doesn't happen for him this season, he has one more chance next year. If he doesn't play more than 65 games, then he wouldn't qualify for that Supermax we all know he deserves. Tyrese Halliburton in 2024 was going through the same thing. He risked further injury just to hit that 65 game threshold so he could make an all-NBA team and sign for his Supermax deal. This shit is completely out of whack, but it's been carefully designed this way on purpose.
The owners came up with that shit because they want the parity and everybody wants equal opportunity. So going forward, obviously we need to be negotiating from a position of strength and leverage.
And also seriousness. The NBA players do not take their union or just their meetings, the reps on the teams. It's mostly G League guys. The players do not take their union situation serious until they see the repercussions of it.
But I think my focus right now is like, because I feel like if you look at the breakdown of the percentage of like minimum, mid-level, max, and the in-between gaps, it's not that far off from what it usually is.
Yeah.
But there's no more free. There's no opportunity.
Nope.
You can't move. You can't keep a player. There's no free agency anymore. Free agency is a trade deadline now. You have a situation like JK, where it's like, we don't want to play you. We're not gonna pay you, and we're not gonna trade you.
Also, Cam Thomas in Brooklyn. Everyone knows he can play, but he's almost in the same no man's land situation. Trae Young is in a contract year. Anthony Davis is also looking to re-up in his contract, and those guys, they basically got salary dumped in a trade.
So like, I feel like that part of the CBA is where the real harm is done at, and the second apron is the excuse for the teams to say, oh, we can't do anything because of second apron. So obviously, I feel like everybody is going to go to the table with like an idea that we need to change that. Somehow.
It has to be.
It has to change. Everybody can agree that shit hasn't been good for anybody.
A bunch of unintended consequences on everybody. But you know, and I know it came from the owners, but the problem I have with it is as players, you mean to tell me a business is doing the greatest it's ever done? These valuations of these teams are as high as they ever been. And what you come out with is, all right, we're going to agree to capping how much we can make. That to me just didn't make sense in the first place. Like,
and another clever way they did it, Draymond, they promised you guys that you can own percentages of gambling companies or just liquor brands or just other ventures that in the previous CBA you guys could not participate in. At the end of the day, that promise of ownership is only going to be applied to 1% of the players. A guy like LeBron James, Luka, you have to be on that level. Established companies don't want to necessarily partner up with guys and start giving out percentages of ownership. But that illusion is what the owners sold you guys on. So to get some of that leverage, you guys agreed to things like the second apron.
listen, the owners are some of the best businessmen in the world. The NBA has some of the best lawyers in the world.
The best.
Like so,
sure.
you're up against, what you're up against is a tall task.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, you're up against some of the best, right? Like, I get that. But in any logical business, to cap your earnings,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense. And that's what we did. And again, to their credit, they say, you know what? We're gonna allow players to have ownership. And in turn, they do little things like that. And then we like, all right, fuck it, we'll take a second April. Because they're gonna have us ownership. Well, unfortunately, right now today, there's probably 3 to 5 guys who can actually afford to be owners in NBA teams. These valuations are
Crazy.
nuts, right? There's probably 3 to 5 players that can afford that, and 0 of them have it. But we gave up a second apron because they throw out things like that. CBA before, they like, oh, we're gonna raise the age to what you can sign a maximum contract. We give up something else, right? Like they know ultimately who's that affect. CP get a max, Bron get a max, but most 36-year-olds can't get a max contract anyway, right? So like, Steph get a max, right? But like,
No, I'm with you.
you know
I'm
what
with
I'm
you.
saying? So I
Listen.
think they throw out these things, and they're great businessmen. They throw out these things that they know they can get us on. We agree, and we give up shit that's like a second April, man. Look at baseball. They like, fuck that salary
Yeah,
cap.
no,
we
that's-
not having
That
one.
part. Oh,
Real
man.
shit. Y'all heard it here first. Draymond Green, Vice President, 2027. Yeah, you gonna help me out, motherfucker, with all this shit.